Okay, well, good Friday morning to my 8th grade students. I miss you guys. We're going to jump right in here with the second half of our lesson on 10.3. Okay, what we're going to be talking about here is histograms. Okay, we never really got there yesterday. We got to a basic one, but here is a more complex one. So this is what a histogram looks like. It's a way of grouping data. So I'm going to try and insert this picture, so bear with me. We'll see how this goes. Maybe? Hey, wrong one. Let's get the other picture. I think we'll, Hey, here we go. Okay, so this is what a histogram looks like. This is in your book. This is on page, page 406. Okay, so if you turn there, you can find it. Page 406, you can look at the same thing I'm looking at that says histogram right here, right? Now, as you can see, this is the number of people. Over here on the side, it's going up. But look down here. It's not for each number. So what we did yesterday, or like with the other dots, this would have been like a number like 7, and then 8, and then 9. But it's not. Look what's going on here. This is a range. So anybody that's between 10 and 19 years old is in this red category. Anybody between 20 and 29 is in this category, right? So all of you would be in this category watching my class. I would be in this category, and your parents may be in this one, this one, this one, who knows? I don't know, grandparents up in here, right? Depending on your age. Now, the height, okay, you see the height here? See how short this one is? That means that it's very small. There's only 2 or 3 people down here that are 80 to 89. Which one has the most? Well, that'd be this one right here, right? The green 30 to 39-year-olds have the most. There's like 16 or 17 of them. Okay? So, I hope that makes sense. That's what a histogram looks like. It's a way of grouping numbers. When we have so many numbers, we don't want to have each one, right? What if each one of these each year had its own line? It'd be everyone would be boom, 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 and just keep going on and 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 on, right? If it was 10 years old through 89. Now, the cool part about this, let me see if I can do some snazzy stuff with my picture. The cool part about this is that sometimes when we want to look at something like this, we can still do our normal stuff with a histogram. So let's say we want to look at the range of this histogram. Well, the range is just equal to this. Okay, everybody look down here at the histogram. This right here, that 89, that's the highest, right? Just like we normally find range. And what's our lowest? Right there, the 10. So our range equals 79. Okay, if you need to pause it, rewatch it, watch me do it. It's not very hard, right? I know you guys can do that. That's the easy part. Finding the range is easy. Also, finding the mode is easy too, right? Because we would have to say which one of these occurs twice. And we'd say the mode. Okay, let me erase this. See if I can use this O here. Oh, no. The mode. Look at the mode here. There's none that are equal, right? That one's not equal. That one's not equal. That one's not equal. This one's not equal. Uh-oh. Because none of these are equal, it equals none. Okay? But if we did have an interval that had the same one, right? Let's say this green one had one over here that was just as tall, then we would say the mode would be that one, okay? But I don't even think we use the mode on this, so you don't really have to worry about that. So if that confused you, don't worry about it. The mode is not going to be something we worry about in a histogram. Now, something that we are going to worry about, and that is the mean, the average. How in the world are we going to find the average of this thing right here, right? We have so many numbers, but we don't know what the exact numbers are. We don't know if this number is 12 in here, or if it's 13, or if it's 14, or 15, or 16. We don't know. So, pay attention. We're about to clear the canvas. If you need to pause that, here we go. Here's how we're going to find out. I'm going to insert the picture of that same chart, but this time, it is going to be something a little bit different. This is what that chart looks like when it's put in the same way as we did yesterday, right? You have the interval. Okay, does everybody see that? We have the interval is right here that I'm circling. That's a terrible circle, so I'm going to erase it. But right there is the interval. Okay, that's our interval. Now, the cool part is that we have the frequency. Okay, it tells us how many times we're in there. We said there were 14 in that category. Now, instead of just multiplying this, because this is not a single number, we can't multiply every number times 14, we have to do what's called the midpoint. Now, the way we find the midpoint is very easy. We take the first one, the biggest number, which is 19, minus the smallest number, which is 10, divided by 2. Now, 19 minus 10 is 9, and 9 divided by 2 is, you'd guessed it, 4.5. Okay, now what we do with 4.5 is we add it to the lower one. Or we can subtract it from the upper one. So you see over here, I'm going to write on this side, 10 plus 4, plus 4.5, oh, stop doing this, equals 14.5. It's the same thing as if I would have done 19, which is the upper one, minus 4.5. We can do it either way, and both ways you're going to get 14.5. So that is how we found our midpoint. Now they did that with every single one. They did 29 minus 20 divided by 2 and added it, and they got 24. And they did that for every single one on this side. They subtracted, then divided by 2, then added, and that's how they got the midpoint. Then, in order to get this category, which is what we really want to get, the product, like last night, is we multiply the midpoint, here in blue, times the frequency. So we do 14.5 times 14, you get 203. You do this number, 25.5 times 10, you get 245. 34.5 times 17, you get this number, right? You see, it's just multiplying these two, and that equals this guy. Okay, now once you have this, again, you get the totals, which I'm circling down here in blue, and you get a total of 83 frequency. There's 83 total in that chart, and look at it, it adds up to 3,523. So the way we find the mean after all of this is we take that number right here, this 3,523.5. You type that in your calculators and you divide by what is left over. And when you do that, you get roughly 42.5. You see their answer down here in the book if you're following along. You do 3,523.5 divided by 83, and you get 42.45. Okay, I'm going to write this in black. You get 42.45. So they rounded it to 42.5. I don't care if you left it right there. That's the mean. Okay, so I did it on this chart, so hopefully that makes sense because you'll see one that looks like this. Okay, not too bad. So the midpoint is the key part in finding it. Now, we haven't done one thing yet, have we? We haven't found the median. So how in the world are we going to find a median in all of those numbers? Well, the formula we used, which I think you'll be able to use this on all of the homework, is this right here. You take the number, you take the first position, so you take f plus 1, f is what we don't know, divided by 2. So f, okay, so f stands for frequency. Now, if you're looking down at your notes, you will know, what was the frequency on our last problem? It was 83. Okay, so if you're still following along, this is now page 407. Okay, if you're still tracking with me, 407. So now I take this and I insert it for the f. Okay, so I get 83 plus 1 divided by 2. What's 83 plus 1? Well, that's 84. What's 84 divided by 2? That's 42. Now, this is the key part. 42 is not the median, okay? Not the number 42. It's the 42nd term. Okay, so I'm going to write that, 42nd term. Okay, there were 83 terms, and it was the 42nd one is the median. So what I have to do with that now, this is the trippy part, so you got to hang with me. It's the 42nd term. Just keep that in your mind, and I'm going to pull up our paper again. Let me see if I can get to it, get our picture. Okay, here's our picture. Now, I want you to see if I can make this bigger. Here we go. Okay, now, look up here. We're looking for the 42nd term on there. So what we do is we start from the bottom one, this 10 to 19, and we take the frequency. Okay, that's in the first one. We take the frequency of the second one, 10. We add them together. Okay, we're trying to see when will we get to, which one will have 42. So what are we at after 2? We're only at 24. Is that 42nd? No, we're not there yet. So not at 42 yet. So let's keep going. Let's add the 30 to 39 range, which is adding 17. And I get 1, and I get 41. 1. Now, question, is 41 the 42nd term? No, it's not. So that means that it's in the next group. Even though the next group only has 8, look at that, it's 49. So it's that one has between 42 to 49. So that means it's in this group right here. So I'm going to erase this because I messed it up. It's in this group right here, 40 to 49. That is our median because it was the first term that was right here of this frequency in 40 to 49. Do you see how I added? I got to 41. It was so close, but it wasn't quite there. So that means that it is the range. So the way we write the answer for this median, if you need to go ahead and watch that again, feel free. The way we write that is we go median equals 40 to 49. The median falls right there. Okay, so that is the mean. Now this time I probably confused you here. The mode, okay, so if you were watching this video all the way through, don't listen to what I said about the mode earlier because I made a mistake. So one thing here about the mode, what the mode in this kind is the interval with the highest frequency. Okay, interval with the highest frequency. So if I pull up our chart, wrong thing. Pull up our chart here. This little guy. Which one of these is the biggest? Well, that one's pretty easy to spot, right? Which one's the biggest? That would be this green one. And so that means that the highest frequency is, let me clear the canvas, the mode then is 30 to 39. Why? Because it had the highest frequency. Okay, so if you saw what I said earlier about the mode, don't listen to it. It was wrong. Okay. Hopefully you watched it to this point in the video. That's how we find the mode. It's the highest frequency. There were the most in there. Okay. Now, one thing that's important. Let's say that they give you some homework because that's what we'll be doing next is some homework problems. So I don't want you to freak out on these. So one of the things that they'll be doing is they'll ask you to draw a histogram, okay? So whenever they say something like this, if they say the interval, okay, all that means is that's the width on the bottom, okay? If you have a square and a square and a square, and this is like 10 to 20 to 19, 20 to 29, okay, this guy is an interval, this guy is an interval. So they say intervals of 20, then you would go something like this. This would be 20 to 39, and the next one would be 40 to 59. Do you see that? Because you have to count the number 40 and to 59. That only looks like 19, but it's actually 20 because it's 40, 41, 42, 43, all the way up, okay? So when you have intervals, you usually put it in groups of that, where you go to 4, you go to the 9, or if it's a group, let's just say, oh, hey, chicken, that's talking in the background of this video. If it says an interval of, let's say it says an interval of 5, and I go 0 to, or sorry, I go 1 to 5, the next one's going to be 6 to 10, right? That only looks like 4 spaces, but it's actually 5, okay? Because it has 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that's 5 dots. So that's how we do the intervals when you go to draw it. Other than that, that is pretty much the homework. What it's going to be is going to be like that, using the frequency, then using the midpoint. So key part, I'm going to pull up that picture just one more time so I can emphasize this, because this is a little weird to think about. Okay, this chart, look what they did. They had to first find the midpoint. Okay, so if the first thing you do is not to find the midpoint, you're going to get a wrong answer. You got to find the midpoint of this interval, and then you take this midpoint here times the frequency here, and that equals your product. Okay, so that's the way that the homework is going to be. So for homework, this is on page 408, and we're going to do 12 through 18 all. Then we're going to do 25, 26, and 29. Okay, that is your homework for due Monday. Okay, we're chugging along. I like it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. So far, the stuff that I graded, you guys have done awesome. So good job. Enjoy Friday. Enjoy your first weekend. And remember, next week is a short week. So that's the fun part. Okay, Mr. H is over and out. We'll see ya.